So for the buttons, I'm going to take my internal circle tool, and these are going to be small buttons. So something even smaller than this. Maybe a touch bigger. Something like that, and I'll start the first one a bit lower. So then I'll copy this button and paste it holding down Shift somewhere around here. And let's turn on Snap to Grid so we can see the distance between them better. And then paste another one down here. And one last one down here. Then I'll select these buttonholes things. Right click, copy as pattern, and paste them. Give them the thickness of 2, particle distance 5, and stick the buttons fabric onto them. Then I'm going to sew them on. Take my free sewing tool, double click, select them all, and right click on the gizmo, superimpose over. Alright, that's it for the buttons. Now for making those pleats. I'm going to take the internal line tool, and I'm going to make a line something like this, and let's turn off snapping to grid now, so I can move it easier. And if you want the pleats to go further, then just make this line further. Then I'm going to take my rectangular pattern tool, and I'm going to make a shape like this. Then curve this part down so it fits nicely into there. Alright, there we go. And then I'm going to segment sew this onto here, and this onto here, and free sew this bottom part. And then edit this seam because it was hard to get it right where I wanted to, and just push it down. Then I'm going to add another fabric and call this shirt pleating. Leave it at white, and then load in my physical property for that, shirt pleated strip, and I called it shirt 2 because it was a different variation, not with a tie but with a bow tie and with the pleating. And then I'll drop that onto this part here, superimpose over, and if that color is not going on top, then we can select it, give it a layer 1, and then give these a layer 2, then back to layers 0, and then just give these a layer 1. And if that doesn't help, then we can just leave them at 0 and just tug them out. And we might as well freeze them for the meantime. Now I think there should be more pleating than this. It should be a bit wider, so I'm going to select this line and this one, drag it out. And then adjust our sewing. So let's just select these, put it to layer 1 again. Go. And maybe there's a problem because the color is tight against the shirt on the bottom and there's no space in between. So we'll see about that. If we activate these, you can put them back to layer 0. Yeah, there we go. Now the bow tie, this layer should be underneath because this is the one of the sewing and it's on top right now. So let's select the bottom one, pull it out, and the same thing here because we don't want to see those lines, or actually that was correct. And then that's better. You can also turn off fold rendering on these lines. And the ones that aren't sewing anywhere, we can get rid of those. There, that's better. Alright, so now to the pleating. To make the pleating effect in it, I'm going to take my internal line tool, starting off somewhere here, hold down Shift, take that line down, then copy, and paste it pretty close to the first line, and make sure it reaches the end. Then I'll select both, and I'm going to move them a bit closer together even. Something like that, then select both, copy, and paste them at a small distance, and then paste them again. And if you want to make an exact distance, you could add points here for reference, because then you can see the line lengths in between them, and then keep a better even distance between these lines. And if you want more pleats, then, just extend this pattern out and add more of those lines. So basically all I do is I select the first one always to the right, and I give it a fold strength of 30. You could give it of 20 or of more, but if you do more than 30, it sort of stands up into the air strangely. And I just want it to fold, but not actually to stand up really queer. And then the fold angle will be 0. And then the next one next to it is going to be fold strength 20 and fold angle 360. And we can select them all in one go to save us time. And then what happens is these nice pleats. And if you want this distance to be smaller, just move them closer together. And there we've got more of those pleats. And it looks something like what he's got there in his shirt. And then once you have your pleats the way that you want them to be, simply copy this pattern and symmetric or mirror paste it. And then segment sew it onto here and this onto here. And there we go. Then we can activate this again. And we've got a front pleated shirt. And in the next tutorial, I'll show you how to make a vest. And then we'll get on to doing the sleeves and the cuffs and the jacket.